Hi, my name is Michaela Green, and this is my final product project. I interned at the Barco Newton Family YMCA. The Barco Newton Family YMCA is located in Fleming Highland, Florida. My site supervisor was Emily Daniel, the sports director there, and I interned for a total of 317 hours. My primary tasks included organizing and distributing uniforms. I believe on my second or third day I was organizing basketball uniforms, and they needed to be organized based on coach, age group, size, and making sure that the numbers did not duplicate. I had to help set up for game days, which was about a few Fridays and every Saturday. We had to raise and lower basketball hoops for full court and half court. Had to get the scoreboards ready, so turn them on and getting the scoreboard machines out. Keep the book, which was primarily my responsibility, and move bleachers for full court and half court. I also had to help set up game schedules for basketball games, clean and organize storage closets, learn about annual campaign and help get donors. Annual campaign is a big thing around the YMCA. It helps fund scholarships for those who cannot afford a membership, or their youth sports programs, or their child care programs at the YMCA. I also helped with soccer, volleyball, and flag football registrations through Daxco. Daxco is the YMCA software that they use that has every member, whether they are a member right now or if they were a member and no longer have their membership anymore. This tracks what programs they were in, so sport programs, child care programs, anything that you had to pay extra for the Y at, it tracks that. Also had to paint and repaint soccer fields, set up promotional events. I set up the Jeremiah's Ice, a promotional event for the first and only weekend of soccer games. Jeremiah's Ice came out and sold snow cones and some of their other products to the soccer families that came out. A certain percentage of the proceeds came back to the YMCA, and I also had to help schedule referees for basketball games. Moving on, this is my crisis communication plan. This is just a brief description. It's really the YMCA's mission. The YMCA is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. My crisis assessment committee is John Deeroff. He is the vice president of operations. I chose him because I saw him almost every day at the Barco Newton Family YMCA. If he wasn't there, he was at Dye Clay. Cindy Grassi, she is the membership leader. She's in charge of memberships and budgeting for members. And then Emily Daniel, the sports director. I chose child abuse allegations, and these are the objectives for that: to make sure the privacy of those that are involved are protected, contact sports directors, vice presidents of operations, and membership leader to ensure certain precautions are taken. That's to fully investigate to see if there's any other abuse in the facility or see what was going on in that situation. Tell the child that their information can be trusted with us, and try to commit to lowering the possibility of having child abuse happening again. And lastly, contact authorities. The response team is the same as the assessment committee, which is John, Cindy, and Emily. For my procedures, it would be to contact the crisis assessment committee, remove the child from the coach, and talk to both the coach and the child in a private setting away from each other. Then, after they've both been talked to, contact the parents to discuss what the child has communicated with the sports director, and see if they have heard any other things from their child, and then to also encourage the parent to have a conversation with their child and see if they can get a little bit more information out of them. Some more procedures are to reach out to the parents on the team to see if they have any concerns or if they have any knowledge of what is going on. Also to check with other coaches that may have the same practice times to see if they notice any behavior. And then the next step would to be release the coach from his duty and not allow him back into the facility, then contact the authorities, and then contact the YMCA Human Resources and Public Relations to kind of summarize what has happened for that specific why and some tips that can help coaches, parents, and staff recognize abuse if it's happening right in front of them. So my next point is COVID-19, and the objectives for that are to offer assistance during COVID-19 to those who need it, to protect the YMCA staffs and members from being exposed to COVID-19, to follow the Center of Disease Control and Prevention guidelines. My response team for COVID-19 is bigger because it involves the whole YMCA. So my first would be Eric Mann. He's the president of the YMCA. Next would be John, which is the vice president. Cindy, membership leader. Emily Daniel, she's the sports director at Barker Newton. Most of these people, except for Eric and John, are at the Barker Newton Family YMCA. Del Rey, she's the aquatics director. Ellie, wellness director. And Kayla is the Kids Zone director. For the procedures, they would include the committee that I just talked about, and then the public relations for the YMCA would send a letter to each individual letting the members know that the YMCA shut down for 2 weeks. Next would be to talk to the departments and have their employees furloughed for the following 2 weeks. Then the YMCA would start to offer childcare for essential workers only and offer food distribution to those who need it. I know for the Barker Newton YMCA, we have a Facebook page where they do live videos of workouts, and they also have Kids Zone do live videos of arts and crafts ideas that can kind of keep their kids busy. And then some YMCAs have actually opened their door to provide wellness checks for those who may be prone to it or may are older and more prone to get it. And then the CDC has announced another 30-day shutdown and the gym remains closed. Once the CDC has released it is safe to open the gyms, basically we're in phase 2 when we get there. The gym could possibly reopen, but I highly doubt that it would just be everybody back in the gym. I think we would still be practicing social distancing, and there would be certain rules that we'd have to follow by the CDC. And then after that, hopefully the gym would remain open. My conclusion, for child abuse allegations, the vice president of operations, the membership leader, and the sports director would all be involved. The sports director would be the main source of contact and would get all the information and contact authorities if need be. The sports director would also contact other parents, coaches, and staff to see if they have noticed any abuse behaviors and remind them of certain actions if a child was being abused. And then for COVID-19, the president, vice president of operations, membership leader, sports director, aquatics director, wellness director, and kids zone director would be involved, and the CDC would have to let the First Coast YMCA know. They would have to let the First Coast YMCA know if there's any closings or reopenings. Thank you so much for watching my video.